Hello students, I am Gurmeet Singh. Welcome to CREATA classes and also welcome to the coordinate geometry series. In this lecture, we will take down NCERT example questions basically related to the distance formula. So without taking any further time, let's start with our question number 1. Here it is. Do the point 3, 2, -2, -3 and 2, 3 form a triangle? If so, name the type of triangle formed. As the standard rule of CREATA classes, we will first observe the question. Then only we will use any of the formula. Okay, that is our standard rule. We will observe and visualize the question. In the question, 3 points are given. Let's assume the first point as point P, the second point as point Q, and third point as point R. We have to tell if we join the 3 points P, Q and R whether we will get a triangle or not. The trick is that if all the 3 points are on a straight line, or we can say they are collinear, then the triangle will not be formed. For forming the triangle, the 3 points should not be collinear. One point should be slightly above or below the 2 points. Then only the triangle can be formed. Got it? How we will check that whether the triangle will be formed or not? We will find the distance between all these 3 points. If the distance is satisfying the triangle inequality theorem, then we can say it is an triangle. What is triangle inequality theorem? We know the sum of two sides of the triangle should be greater than the third side. So we will find the distance between point P, Q and R. Then we will check whether it is greater than the third side or not. So basically, in terms of the coordinate geometry and our formula, the question is asking us to find the distance between point P, Q and R. Let's approach the question. We have the coordinate of all the 3 points. We can directly use the distance formula. Firstly, let's find the distance between point P and Q. We know x1, y1 and x2, y2. Let's put the value. On solving, we got the answer as root 50, which is approximately 7.07. Let's find the distance between point Q and R, that is side QR. We know x1, y1 and x2, y2. Let's assume this as x1, y1 and x2, y2. We can assume anything as x1, y1 and x2, y2. The answer will not change. Why? Because we are having the square term. So you can take any point as x1, y1 and the other point as x2, y2. So let's put the value and let's solve it. On solving, we got the answer as root 52, which is approximately 7.21. Further, let's find the distance PR. We know x1, y1 and x2, y2. Let's put the value. On putting the value and solving, we got the answer as root 2, which is 1.41. PQ we got as 7.07, root 50. QR we got as root 52, which is 7.21. And PR we got as root 2, which is 1.41. Let's check whether they will form the triangle or not. How we will check that? We will add the two sides. The sum of any two sides should be greater than the third side. Then it is a triangle. So let's proceed and let's add the two sides. Firstly, let's add PQ plus QR and let's check whether it is greater than PR. Yes, the sum of PQ plus QR is greater than PR. Further, let's take the QR and PR. Yes, the sum of these two sides is also greater than the third side. Further, let's add PQ and PR. Yes, this is also greater than the third side. So we can say the 3 points will form the triangle. Got it? How we have approached the question? We have added the two sides and we have checked whether it is greater than the third side. Further in the question framer is asking, if it is a triangle, name the type of triangle formed. Basically, in this type of question, the triangle formed is basically an equilateral triangle, that is in which the 3 sides are equal, or an isosceles triangle in which 2 sides are equal, or a right angle triangle in which one of the angle is 90 degree. Here all the 3 sides are not equal, so we can say it is not an equilateral triangle. Any of the 2 sides are also not equal, so we can say it is not an isosceles triangle. How we will check whether it is a right angle triangle or not? We will use the Pythagoras theorem. That is, the square of two legs of the triangle is equal to square of the hypotenuse. And we know the largest side is the hypotenuse. Here QR is equal to root of 52. So we can say QR is the largest. So we can take it is an hypotenuse. Other two sides are PQ and PR, that is root 50 and root 2. Let's use the Pythagoras. Yes, these three sides are satisfying the Pythagoras theorem. That is, left hand side is equal to right hand side. So we can say this is a right angle triangle. Got it? The 3 points are forming a triangle. And which triangle? A right angled triangle. And if we try to plot the 3 point on the coordinate, we got this triangle as an right angle triangle. So quickly, if you want to solve this question, you can plot the 3 points on a graph paper on the coordinate plane. You can easily identify that these 3 points will form a triangle and it is an right angle triangle. Just for the understanding purpose. Let's move to the next question. Question is, show that the point 1, 7, 4, 2, minus 1, minus 1 and minus 4, 4 are the vertices of a square. Firstly, let's observe and visualize the question. In this question, 4 points are given and we have to identify whether these 4 points will form a square or not. Such type of questions are generally asked in the coordinate geometry, whether the 4 point will form a square, whether they will form a rhombus, they will form a parallelogram, they will form a rectangle or other type of quadrilateral. So before proceeding this question, you should know about all these different type of parallelogram or different type of quadrilateral. Just a quick review of different type of parallelogram, like we will take rhombus, rectangle and square. We have a detailed video on different type of parallelogram. Check out the link in the description. Just a quick view, rhombus is a type of parallelogram in which all the sides are equal. Rectangle is a type of parallelogram in which opposite sides are equal and all the angle are 90 degree, that is equal, 90, 90, 90, 90. Square is a type of parallelogram in which all the sides are equal as well as all the angles are equal. Rhombus, all the sides are equal. Rectangle, opposite sides are equal and all the angle are 90 degree. Square, all the angles are 90 degree and all the sides are equal. Further, regarding the diagonal, which is the important criteria to decide. In the rhombus, the diagonals are perpendicular bisector. In rectangle, the diagonals are equal. In square, diagonal are equal as well as perpendicular bisector. So just an overview of what are the different type of parallelogram. Let's proceed with this question. In this question, 4 points are given. Let's assume the 4 points as A, B, C and D. Firstly, let's check the distance between all the 4 points so that we can check whether the sides are equal or not. What will be the distance AB? We know the coordinate of both the point x1, y1 and x2, y2. Let's use the distance formula. On putting the value and solving, we got AB as root of 34. Let's take BC, x1, y1 and x2, y2. Let's put the value. Again, we can use anything as x1, y1 and x2, y2. You can rearrange anything, the answer will not change. On solving, we got BC as root of 34. Similarly, we can calculate CD as root of 34, DA as root of 34, AC as root of 68 and BD as root of 68. Here, if you observe, AB, BC, CD and DA are equal to each other. That is, all these 4 sides are root of 34. And AC and BD are also equal, that is root of 68. So we can say the side AB, BC, CD and DA are the 4 sides of the quadrilateral which are equal to each other. And the diagonal are AC and BD which are also equal to each other. So what is the type of quadrilateral in which all the sides are equal and the diagonal are also equal? That is a square. Square is having a property in which all the sides are equal and also the diagonal are also equal. Got it? All the sides are equal, it means it is not a rectangle. It can be a rhombus. But in rhombus, the diagonals are not equal. Diagonals are equal in rectangle as well as square. But in rectangle, all the sides are not equal. So only criteria that is matching is only the square. The detailed video for this parallelogram or the quadrilateral case is given in the description. You must watch it if you do not know all about this geometrical figure. Let's plot all these 4 points on the coordinate plane. These are the 4 points and these are forming the square, just for your understanding. Moving to the example number 3. Figure 7.6 shows the arrangement of desks in a classroom. Ashima, Bharti and Camella are seated at A 3,1, B 6,4 and C 8,6 respectively. Do you think they are seated in a line? Give reason for your answer. So our first rule, let's observe the question. In this question, the arrangement of the desk in the classroom is talked about, and Ashima, Bharti and Camilla are 3 girls and the coordinates are given as 3,1, 6,4 and 8,6 respectively. We have to find whether they are on a straight line or not. So how we will check whether they are on a straight line or not? We will use the same concept we have used in the example 1. We will find the distance between these points and we will check whether they are collinear or not, similar to the triangle case. We will try to add the two sides and we will equate with the third side. Okay, so this is how we will proceed. We know the coordinate of all the 3 points A, B and C. That is the coordinate of Ashima, Bharti and Camilla. So we can easily find the distance between the 3 girls or the distance between the point A, B and C. Let's find AB, BC and AC. We know the coordinate of A and B. We can use the distance formula. We know x1, y1 and x2, y2. Let's put the value. On putting the value and solving, we got the answer as root of 18, which is basically 3 root 2. We can use the distance formula in BC. On solving and putting the value, we got our answer as root of 8, which is basically 2 root 2. AC, on putting the value and solving, we got the answer as root of 50, which is basically 5 root 2. So we have got the distance AB, BC and AC. Here if you observe, here let's add AB and BC. On adding, we got 3 root 2 plus 2 root 2, which is equal to 5 root 2. And AC we have already calculated as 5 root 2. Here AB and BC are equal to AC. So we can say the 3 point A, B and C are collinear. That is, they are on a straight line. Here AB plus BC is equal to AC. So the sum of two sides is equal to third side, which can only be possible in a collinear points or in a straight line. Got it? We have solved the question using the distance formula. Let's move to example number 4. Find the relation between x and y such that the point xy is equidistant from the point 7, 1 and 3, 5. Let's observe the question. In this question, we are having 2 points 7, 1 and 3, 5. Let's give the name to these 2 points as A and B. Third point is also given, which is x, y. Let's name this point as point P. Further in the question, it is given that this point P is equidistant from point A and B. Basically, it means that the distance AP is equal to the distance BP. And we have to find a relation between the point X and Y. Slightly a tricky question. Let's approach the question. Basically, in the question, it is given AP is equal to BP. And we can easily calculate the distance between A and P and B and P. We will not get a straight answer, that is a numeric answer, because on one side we are having X and Y. So basically we will get the answer in X and Y term. And in the question itself, we have to find the relation between x and y. That is, we have to find the equation itself. So are you understanding and catching what I'm saying? Basically, no numeric answer will be found, only the equation will be there. Let's see what I'm talking about. Firstly, let's find the distance between point A and P using the distance formula. Let's assume x1, y1 as point P, that is xy, and x2, y2 as point A, that is 7, 1. Let's put the value. We got AP as x minus 7 whole square plus y minus 1 whole square in the root. Similarly, let's find BP. Here let's assume the point x1, y1 as point P and x2, y2 as point B. Let's put the value. We got BP as root of x minus 3 whole square plus y minus 5 whole square. And AP is equal to BP. It means both of these terms will be equal to each other. Let's square both sides. Further, let's open this square term, that is a minus b whole square, a square plus b square minus 2ab. Let's solve all the equations. X squares will cancel out, y square will cancel out. Let's take x and y on one side. On solving, we got the answer as x minus y is equal to 2. This is the relation and this is the answer. In the question, we have to find the relation between x and y. So this is the relation. Moving to next question. Find a point on the y-axis which is equidistant from the point A 6, 5 and B minus 4, 3. Let's observe the question. In this question, 2 points are given. Point A 6, 5 and point B minus 4, 3. The point A is in the first quadrant. Why? Because both are positive. Point B is in the second quadrant because x is negative and y is positive. We got point A and point B. These 2 points will have some distance with respect to y-axis. Y-axis is basically composed of many different points, and from each point the point A and B will have some distance. We have to find a point on y-axis from which the both point A and B will have equal distance. Got it? What is the question? We have to find a point on y-axis from which the point A and B will have the same distance. That is equidistance. Let's assume a point O on y-axis. Let's give the name to this point as x, y. And from this point, we are assuming the distance to point A and distance to point B is equal. That is OA is equal to OB. And we have assumed the coordinate of this point as x, y. This point O is on y-axis. It means that its x coordinate will be 0. The x coordinate along the complete y-axis is 0. For this point O, the x-axis is 0, so we got the coordinate of this point as 0, y. Got it? X is 0 on y-axis. Further, let's calculate the distance OA and also calculate the distance OB. We will equate both the distance and we will find the value of the coordinate O. Let's do so. Firstly, let's calculate the distance OA. Let's assume the point A as x1, y1 and O as x2, y2. Let's use the distance formula. Let's put the value. We got OA. This equation is OA. Further, in the similar manner, let's use the distance formula and calculate OB. Here OA and OB both are equal to each other. Let's equate both the distance. Let's square both sides. We got this equation. Let's open the square. We have used a minus b whole square, a square plus b square minus 2ab. Y square will cancel out. On solving, we got y as 9. So now we can easily find the coordinate of point O, which is 0, y. So the coordinate of point O is 0, 9. That is the answer. From the coordinate 0, 9, the point A and B will be at equal distance. You can cross check. You can put the value of y, which is equal to 9, in OA and OB. Both will be equal. That is root 52. That is the answer of the question. So students, we have done with the NCERT example questions related to coordinate geometry. In the next lecture, we will take down exercise 7.1. Note that this is the complete series on coordinate geometry for class 10 student. The link to all the lecture is given in the description. Check it out.